Alright, now let's continue. So we'll start with the handle the contact message. Handle group message we'll do later when we come to the groups. Okay, so let's create that method. So here is what Copilot is suggesting, but let's not do it here. Let's just create that method down after this. Handle contact message. So this is what Copilot is suggesting. It's suggesting that we are going to send a message model, and then contact ID, contact name, contact image, and then we're also going to pass the unsuccess, and then also the on error. Okay, so let's put the cursor here and then create this method. All right, so there is our method. What we will do is to save so that it formats like that, and then down here, let's see. So here, number one, that's Copilot now is suggestion. Okay, number one here, the first thing that we are going to do is to create the message. So we also need another model class for the last message. Okay, so we need to save the last message, because once we save the message, we need to send the last message to the user's location, to the current user's location, and the last message to the other user's location, the contact user's location. So let's come here to the models. Where is the models? Here. So let's click here, and then let's have a last message model.dat. So let's create this class last message model. So this one, let's first have a string sender UID, and then let's have a string for the sender we only need to save their UID, and then here we need to have a contact UID, and then contact name. So for the one we are sending to, we are going to have their name, okay, and image. Contact name, and then contact image, and then after that, now we're going to have that message, and then after that message we have the message type. Yeah, that is correct. Let's import that. Then after the message type, maybe we can also have the time sent, and then also not the message ID. We already have the message ID here. Let's have a boo. Is this last message seen? Okay, it's seen like this. Okay, so that's what we will have for this last message, and then let's create a constructor. So this will be our constructor, and then also let's create the toMap. This will be our toMap. Let's just go through and then see if it is correct. Now here on the time, we want to say dead time dot from milliseconds since epochs, and then now inside here, that's when we want to put our actually Copilot was right. We don't want to do this here. This will be the from map method. Let's go back. We want it to be like that. Okay, then here let's create the from map, and then let's see what Copilot will create. Yeah, this one was for here, and then that's all the data. But for this last message, we need to create the copy with method, because some of this data, because this last message is going to be for the sender and then also for the receiver. But for the sender, here we are going to put this contact details of the person we are talking to. But if on his side, on the contact details, we are going to put our details, okay? So we will reuse this, but the sender is always going to be the same person, okay? So now here, down here, let's create the copy with method, okay? So let's do copy with, yeah, something like that. Let's click on tab. So the copy with method, we only want to send the only things that we want to change is the contact UID, contact name, and contact image. So in the copy with, let's remove what we don't need. Let's remove that, and then let's get this as required, okay? Required, this will be a string. We can copy this, then put it here, then also here, and then all of these things we won't change, okay? So here everything else will be the same. Let's remove this. This will just be the sender UID. This will be that, this will be that, and then also this will be this. Let's put back a comma. This will be that. We need commas there. This will be that. This will be that. This will be that. So this is our last message model class. Then let's go back to the chat provider. Now here, so here first let's make the last message. So first let's put a comma here, and then here let's make the last message, okay? So first let's make the last message for the sender, and then also the last message for the receiver. So here number one, let's initialize the last message for the sender, and then also here number two, initialize last message for the contact, okay? After we do that, what we need to do is the send a message to Firestore, but here first is send message to senders Firestore location. Then number 4 is send message to contact Firestore location. After that, and then we send number 5, send the last message to senders Firestore location. Number 6, send the last message to receivers Firestore location. After we do that, and then now we call on success. So before we go on success, this will be 8. Here we need to set, actually we don't need to set that. So this method, let's create it as a future. So here let's say future void, and then asynchronous here. So here we need to await for this method, okay? After this method finishes, we need to set the this reply message to false, okay? So here set message reply model to now, yeah, that one. So this set message reply model is now going to be set to now. If we come back here, this will be now, and then this will be set back to now. Okay, so that's what is going to happen here. Okay, and then this on success that we are going to call here, so this can be 7. Yeah, number 7. Okay, let's come back. So this one success will be called here, and then it's going to be passed here, and then also here it's going to be passed up to here. Okay, and then so this everything here will be wrapped into the try catch block. So let's first this other thing can be outside, but it's too fine. Let's put it in the try, and then like that, and then let's say on Firebase exception we're still going to call on error, and then everything here should be inside that. We cut that and then we put them inside here. All right, now let's initialize this last message for the sender. So let's say final sender last message. Yeah, it's going to be like that. Let's import this last message. So let's go through it. Sender UID is going to be message model though. Okay, we can get the sender UID from message model because this message model that is coming here, do we have? Yeah, we have the sender UID here, which is this one. Okay, so that's why we are getting this sender UID, and then the contact UID we are getting them from here. Okay, so let's check. So okay, here we only have the contact UID, we don't have the contact name and image. That's why we are passing them here, the contact name, contact UID, contact name and image, and then the message we are getting from this message model, and then the message type, this one we are getting also from the message model. Okay, and then the is seen is false. So this one is going to be for the sender. Okay, now let's create for the receiver who is a contact. Okay, so let's do final. Let's see if Copilot will follow our comments here. Let's click tab. So for the receiver, you see that Copilot is putting the data again, but this is not what we want. So for the receiver, let's see. Okay, it's doing it correctly, but it's doing all of this again. But the reason why we don't want to do this, all of this, because here inside this message, this last seen, time sent, and message type, message, these things are going to be the same, and also the sender UID is going to be the same. The only things that is going to change is these 3. That's why we created the copy with. Okay, so here instead of that, from here we can do that copy with method. Okay, we did copy with like that. Okay, and then here in the copy with method we don't have that, so we are only putting the details for the sender. So what is the error here? What is it saying? Copy with cannot using a static method. Okay, let's see. Let's minimize and then let's go back. So what is wrong with our copy with method here? Okay, so we are not calling it, we shouldn't call it like this. Let's go back. So here we are just getting this method and then we are changing these 3. Okay, so instead of this here, we need to copy this and then paste it here. Okay, like that. So that's it. So here now we are initializing all of this, but in this other one we are changing these 3 to putting our details here. Okay, so you can see that now the sender, let's go back to the message model. Maybe we are missing something. So here we are putting our sender details. Okay, which is what we are putting now inside this contact last message. in the last message of ours, we are putting his data, okay? And then on his side, we are going to put his data so that he sees our data. And then when we look at our last message, we see their data, okay? So once again, if we look at our last message, we are going to see their data. And then if they look at the last message, if it is us who sent, they are going to see our data, okay? So this one is passed. And then now here, we need to send a message to Firestore, okay? So this we can do this and then await for this to happen, and then do this and then do this and then also do this, and then we go on success. But that can work also, but we can also do it in one way. We can either say something like await future don't wait, okay? And then inside this future, we can put a list now of, let's remove that. Here we can put a list of all these Firebase methods, okay? That can, yeah, like this. You can see how Copilot is doing it. Let's hit tab, okay? So let's, what is wrong? Something's extended. I think it's this. Let's remove that. Yeah. So if it is like that, here is a list that can happen. We can wait for all these methods to happen. We, like in our comment, we send to our database, we send to the database. So this can also work. But what I want to try to do now is let's use the Firebase transaction, okay? So if that fails, we are coming back to use this. So let's remove all of this. Here what we can do is if we go back to the browser, and then here on the, what's that, there's a transactions, okay? So the Firebase transaction here, you can read all about. We can do one operation at once, and then it's only successful once all of it is done. The transaction are a way to ensure that a write operation only occurs using the latest data available on the server. Transaction never partially apply write, and the writes execute at the end of successful transaction, okay? So this transaction, it will do all of this, and then if everything is successful, that's when it will it will finish. If it is not successful, then it will not finish, okay? So that's what we will try to use here. We'll try to use a transaction, and then if the transaction can't allow us to be used here, but which can work, I know, then we'll use the other method, okay? So let's go on ahead and try out the transaction. So down here, let's say await Firebase, what did we call it? That Firebase, Firestore, Firestore dot run transaction, okay? This one, run transaction, okay? And then here we're going to call the transaction, and then inside here it's going to be asynchronous. And then let's call our methods inside here. So let's wait for Copilot. You can see Copilot has done it. Let's click on tab, and then let's close it out. We will change what we need to change. Then down here, let's call our on success function, on success function, okay? This one is called. Now let's go through this transaction. So what we want to do is to this is the first one. So let's put these comments, let's cut this and then put it first here, and then let's cut this and then put it here. Let's cut this, put it here. Let's cut the other one and then put it here. So let's come back here and then let Copilot give us this comment for this. Let's just run transaction. Okay, it's fine. So let's see what's going on here. So it's going, this transaction, once it started, now it's going to set the data inside the Firebase Firestore, and then in our collection of users, and then we are going to get inside our document, which is message_uid.sender_uid, and then the collection of contacts here. Okay, so instead of naming contacts here, let's name it as chats. Okay, in the collection of chats, it's going to go inside this sender UID, and then in the collection of messages, yeah, let's call it that, it's going to set that message ID, that ID of this message, and then it will set message model.toMap, which is the same here. Let's copy here. We're going to name this location as chats, and then after it does that, now it has to set the last message. So the last message is going to be set inside this the same location, and then in our UID, and then here instead of contacts, let's name it as chats. Okay, so here instead of so here under chats is going to go now to that user that we were talking to, and then it's going to set now that sender last message, which is also the same. It's going to go to our UID and then send the contact messages. So let's put this as chat. Okay, so now let's first create this constant, and then I'll tell you how this database will look like in Firestore. So inside the constants here, let's just create those two. So we have last message. Okay, we might need it, and then last message ID. No. So what we need here, instead of last message ID, we want to have chats. Okay, and then we also want to have messages. Let's see, what is it called? Messages. Yeah, messages. Okay, let's copy that and then let's paste that here. All right, now that this method is done, let's go on ahead and just see how it will look like in Firestore. So if we minimize and go to our Firestore, so we are saying that we are going to put that message inside our UID, and then here we have a collection called chats, then next, and then after this collection of chats is going to have a chat ID. Let's just put a random chat ID, and then this chat ID here we're going to save here. Let's hot restart. Okay, so we are still going. So we are going to have, let's go back. So this message is going to be inside our UID and then inside chat, and then we have this contact ID. Okay, so after we go into chat, so we're going to have that contact ID. Let's go back there. So inside chat, so this will be the ID for the person that we are talking to, and then inside this other collection, which is going to be messages, and we are going to have now the message ID here. Okay, and then let's save again. So now here we are going to have now the message. Okay, so let's go back to the application. So users under our UID, and then under chats that contact UID, and then messages, and then we are going to have that message there. So now if we come back here, this message is going to be here. So this is going to be a message which is a hello world, and then also so this will be our message, which will have you can add more field, maybe message ID, which is going to be this. Okay, this will be the message ID which is going to be there. We can add more fields here. So let's save. So this message is going to be here, and then now the last message is going to be saved. And if we come back here, so this, the way it is set like this is going to be the same way we are saving the data even on the other friends database. Okay, so now let's look at the last message. The last message, this one is going to be in our users, our ID, chats, and then the contact ID, and then the message is going to be there. So that one is going to be, let's go back. So users, chats, and then that person's ID, and then here that's where we are going to put our last message, okay, which is going to be here. So now this is how the data is going to be. Let's restart, refresh. So this is how the data is going to be in our Firestore. Okay, it's still loading. Let me reload again. So let me just go here and then come back there. Alright, so this is how the data is going to be. It's going to be inside the chart, and then that person's ID, and then the last message will be here, and then the messages will be inside the messages, message ID, and then the message will be here. Okay, so we can go ahead and delete this chart. So let's delete from here. Delete this collection of charts. Okay, can delete that. Alright, so that's how the database is going to be. So this is our method now to send the message. Okay, so right this, after this handle this send message, we are going to set that to now. Okay, and then also this on success, let's see. Okay, yeah, we are calling it also there. So this on success, it's a function here, and then on error also we are calling it. Now in the next video we have to call this method inside here to send the message. Okay, so that is it, guys. I hope I wasn't too quick, and then I hope all of this is clear. Okay, so thank you guys, and see you in the next video.